As we know, communication is both physical and non-physical.
And I, would feel like I wasn't asking for a lot. He could go all day long without saying anything.
Oh, well, hey, Maya, you're not texting me back now. You're not calling me back now. The thing with communication throughout the entire week, I don't have anything to look forward to when I talk to you at the end of the day.
Oh,
Okay.
man. So we're here on Dennis's podcast, and we're just chatting. What are we chatting about today, Dennis?
I would like to do the intro. So what is the baseline for communication for you?
Baseline, requirements. Honesty for sure. Honesty is number one. Lying is unacceptable to me. Clarity, I want clarity. I think that clarity is something that sometimes needs to be, it might take a couple rounds to get to the clarity for some people in their communication styles. Details. I want details about whatever the situation is. And I don't have to ask. I don't want to have to ask for communication in any way. I feel like just tell me what it is, give me all the information, and open and honest communication. Okay.
Oh, what about you, Katie?
I'd say transparency. For me, when you mentioned you just coming up to me and just telling me what's going on, that for me is transparency. Honesty for me equates to me having to ask you and you're telling me the truth. Versus I would feel more comfortable, and I'm sure Maya, you might be as well. If Dennis were to come up to you, let's say you saw him come in, you felt a little bit of a weird vibe, but you're not going to ask him about it yet. Mm-hmm. Probably he just got in, maybe traffic was crazy, it's hot outside, it's Georgia in June.
Yes.
A lot of things could be going on.
And June too.
Right. But let's just say there is something actually going on. Transparency to me looks like Dennis coming up to you hey, just letting you know, I know we have, let's say y'all had a movie night planned or whatever. It's hey, I know we had this thing planned for today, but something's been going on with me mentally, and I don't think I can show up in the way that I would need to show up in this particular way. Can we reschedule it? And can we watch a movie tomorrow? And can we sit down and talk about it? Or can you give me a little bit of time to kind of work through it, get the clarity and the details that you want, so that when we talk about it, it's all out in the open, versus her having to fish for questions and you're trying to fish for honesty. So I think that is a big thing for me, especially for someone who has and reassurance. And I get a lot of reassurance in the details. A lot of women, from what I can understand, we want to know the plan. We love a man that has a plan. We also want to know what the plan is. We don't need to know every single step. All we need to know is the map. We just need to see the map, that there is one. And as long as you know what to do from there, we're good. We just need to know or see that, hey, the streamline of consciousness or thought is flowing equally between both of us. So both of us are on the same page, and it makes things a lot easier for if problems were to come up, or if it's hey, I'm going through something, I can feel you going through something, let's talk about it. Or if it's all right, I don't want to talk about it right now, we can talk about it later.
So, okay, I really like that. So there's one of those things where even for Maya, I feel like things change. So there are times, especially during a work week, where there's a lot of hustle and bustle. It's kind of one of those things where we're not necessarily talking as much. For me, I feel like a text message, or I feel like a little bit of communication in the morning, good morning, I'm working, that's acceptable. Is that a pitfall to, and this kind of comes from the school year specifically. And, it would be times where I'm hey, Maya, well, she would text me, so on and so forth. Oh, I'm definitely getting
It's more of a question than a statement. It's more of a question.
Okay, give me a question.
So between the two of you specifically,
okay,
when you're talking about specifically in the school year and you guys have had breakdowns, I'm assuming breakdowns in communication.
Yes.
Has this been the communication, major mind in me is having a field day right now.
Okay, go ahead.
So as we know, communication is both physical and non-physical.
Yes.
So, and what I mean by that, for those of us watching that don't know, communication is verbal and body language.
Yes.
So something as simple as, if I'm upset with you, turning my body away, non-verbal body language. Or if it's I'm mad at you, verbal language. Very simple.
Okay.
Would you say that your breakdown in communication happened more so because there was a lack of nonverbal to make up for the non-talking that was going on? Because from what I can guess or gauge, that especially in places where, or in fields like education where you're dealing with children, or multiple personalities where you're going to have to take on, unfortunately, a lot of our teachers and educators take on a heavy emotional load.
Yes.
And do you feel that that was part of a catalyst to what led to a little bit of breakdown in your communication and in learning how to try and still communicate with each other and still have those bits for connection, and communicate in ways that don't feel as taxing as sitting down and having a conversation?
I wish I had glasses so that way I could just like flip them out and be like, yes.
So the glasses on.
Yeah, CGI glasses, but I want to say 100% yes. She lives clear across Georgia.
Yeah, we're
darn near Alabama.
Being and not living together and like being so far apart, like it's basically a long distance relationship. It's an hour, but it's like if you're working full time, like you're not doing that rush hour traffic. You're not, you know what I mean? Like, we were basically at like once a week. And we had already gone through the full week dealing with kids. You get a million trillion questions, a million trillion things and personalities and emotions and all these things that you're dealing with throughout the week. And then we have the one day. So what would happen is during the day, but he was, more full time. I would fluctuate. So I would have like long terms where I would be like the full time, and then I'd have like individual gigs where I'd have like certain days off. So my schedule was a little all over the place, which didn't help either. And I, would feel like I wasn't asking for a lot. You know what I mean? It's like, sure, good morning text in the morning is cool, but like.
So not to cut you off.
Hold on.
Okay.
And then, but we've kind of gotten, okay. We've gotten to like the other side of it because like I would want more from him. And he's like.
When you say more, what do you mean by that?
I would want, like, he was taxed enough where he could go all day long without saying anything. Mm-hmm. And for me, I'm like, all right, not even just not saying anything, but like also not responding to my text messages. Like, and so I'm like, give me something. Like, I'm over here in the dark. Like, and it's like, I understand that you have a taxing job. I understand that you have a lot that you're doing. At some point, you're going to go home, right? And it would still be like,
but then the
spotty.
Communication would be on my way home. And I really feel like things flipped when she was in my shoes. One, for a long-term position, and then two, for a position specifically like, it was pretty much like mine, right? Mm-hmm. Whenever I had more free time and she was actually walking inside of my shoes, the roles were reversed, and it was her communication was spotty. And the thing that she would do is she would talk to me on the phone. You got them safe? Yeah. And then she would just watch her show. And then
I would be like,
it literally flipped.
Eat some food.
So I feel like there was actually an understanding. I would tease her about it because I'm like, okay, well, sit
the shoes on the other foot.
You shoot, yeah. You say hey, like, there's no communication here and all this other stuff. You had a lot more free time during those time periods. And then when you actually like full time, and then when you were actually working in a position that was just like mine, the roles reversed. And then when I actually had free time and, everything was coming down to a science and everything was down pat for me because I understood my assignment, it was like, oh, well, hey, Maiya, you're not texting me back now. You're not calling me back now. When you go home, I'm not really hearing from you. It's like I want to unwind and watch my show.
So
I feel like we came to, after both of us role reversing both ways.
Yes.
I feel like it was like, okay, this is...
So what was something that both of you had learned about the other's struggle in terms of this particular time within your relationship involving the communication? So would it have been like, for next time if things happen to get like this, do you know that, I need more like check-in text messages being like, hey, just wrapped up with this class, like got a few minutes, just check in and say what's up, may not respond. Like, are you saying like, do you want, like, if a situation like that were to occur again where one of you is more swamped, the other one has more free time, or vice versa, is that something that both of you want to try and implement, or other similar strategies or something different to still at least keep the streamline of communication open, without you having to feel the emotional burden of pressure of showing up for your partner?
So for me, there's nothing that I actually want to implement. And the reason why I don't want to implement anything is because if you're inside of a building or you understand my job doesn't change. 9 a.m. I'm doing this, 10 a.m. I'm doing this, 11 a.m. I'm doing this, 12 a.m. I'm doing this. I'm at lunch at this time. Again, like what you were saying, like the emotional burden and the connection that I'm having with, at least for me, probably 150 different individuals, including staff.
Right.
I'm communicating throughout the entire day. Mm-hmm. So I don't want you to get the short end of the stick, but my understanding was that at the end of the week, our time was this. The thing with communication throughout the entire week, I don't have anything to look forward to when I talk to you at the end of the day. And then I feel like the energy that you had, it carried throughout the week. So it carried, and until the next time that I actually met you.
Okay, so I do feel like towards the end we got into a better groove with things. That being said, not having anything to talk about at the end of the day, that wasn't a thing for me. Like, even if
that's how I always felt.
Yeah, like he wanted to like save up things to like talk about at the end of the day,
which is a good
which is like a thing, I guess. I don't feel the same way about it personally, and it was always like when we did finally get together in person, whatever like was the issue, whatever was the thing, like all of this would just go away like almost immediately. Like it is a huge, like the lack of physical contact, the lack of like being physically together throughout the week.
That's what does it for you.
Part. Like if I knew like I was coming home to him, we were coming home to the same place, like I genuinely like half the things would just be like, because it's like whatever, okay, I'm gonna see you in a few hours, or I'm gonna see you later, and like we can, da da da. Yeah. But it was like all I'm getting is text messages and calls, and so I'm like, going from like this moment to moment.
The thing that I hated was nothing changed, but there was always an issue. And I felt like as a result of me not communicating the minuscule details of my day, I felt like I was doing something wrong.
So I feel like you started to communicate more when it became an issue.
And because it became an issue.
Yes, but then it was, because then I felt like things were better.
It better on your end. For me, nothing about my life changed.
Okay, but then it's like if nothing changed, then why was it a problem to do those things?
Okay, Katie.
Possible answer to that question, because similar parallels to me in last relationship. You have mentioned that on your end, nothing had changed.
Nothing changed.
When you say nothing had changed, you mean like your schedule, your emotional capacity towards your partner, like all of that had not changed.
So my emotional capacity did change. And the fact that it became an issue, that was the thing that it was like, oh my God, like, you want me to tell you when I'm eating lunch? You want me to tell you when I'm doing X, Y, and Z?
That was not what I was thinking. It was like, for me, it was like, I just need like a response. Like, even to a point where it would be well after school. This is before we were like, because we got to where we were talking every day and we had like kind of a system.
We've talked every day.
But there would be times where it was like, no response to any sort of text messages the night before.
So when she started working full time, everything that I was in the hot seat for was the attributes that she embodied 100%.
That was because it was still only when you have like days off or whatever, for whatever reason. And I would be working. So
that was very far and few in between.
It was. But it was those days,
those like 5 days maybe. Because for where I work specifically, like I didn't necessarily have days off.
It was, okay, so it was like, because our breaks were different. That was really the main thing.
Yes.
Our breaks were different, so it would be like, whatever, winter break, spring break, whatever it was. And they would be different weeks. So I would be working, let's say, the full week, and he had off for the week. And vice versa. And depending on what job I was working or what, class I was in, whatever, I feel like you understood at that point what it felt like because.
So no, because I didn't care. My understanding was that you were doing the same exact thing that I was doing. And then the fact of the matter, like when you communicated to me at the end of the day, you would communicate to me, I'm tired. I want to watch my show. And this sucks. those were the three things consistently. It was never new information. It was this kid, and all that other stuff. And it was emotional, but it was one of those things where I was like, I wish that I could actually be there. Kind of like one of those nonverbal things, or just like...
Just to kind of just...
Yeah, it's okay. And one of the things that I got from my mentor, Reverend Thomas, is that...
Shout out to the Reverend.
Shout out to Reverend. Is that, you have to let it go and leave it behind. When you leave, that's when it's over. Yes, Katie.
I feel like we're veering a little bit left, so we're going to bring it back to the right. I would say in regards to... Oh, I love this book so much. Okay, so I'm going to recommend you this book. Both of you this book.
I can't read.
It's a lovely book. They have an audiobook as well.
Oh.
It's called, and it's perfect for this particular podcast subject. It's called Fierce Conversations. It's by
Fierce Conversations.
It's by Susan Scott.
Susan, shout out Susan.
It's the tagline. It's something along the lines of bettering your life and relationships one conversation at a time.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So essentially, she talks about throughout the book different ways you can communicate with your partner, with your boss, with your friends or family to better strengthen or weaken your relationship with your chosen people. Now, when it comes to an environment where it's very high stress and you're dealing with multiple personalities, there is going to be that time where you're going to want to dump or unload. It's part of decompression. Everybody does it. Now, I can understand for you, Dennis, not wanting to necessarily... Yes, you'll still hear her out because you just love hearing from her and you want to be supportive of her. But I know that's not what you want to hear when she calls your phone.
No, not at all. Not even...
He doesn't want... He doesn't want to hear you.
The thing is, like, we talked about it, and then I stopped doing that. Like, I feel like it stopped being an issue.
So, technically, stopping being an issue after 2 months. Like, consecutively,
but not
like,
to say the
every single day. Like, that's what I heard.
And it also wasn't like you did not, like, go, like... vent about the things that were happening with the kids that you were dealing with.
It's not to say that venting isn't,
because you definitely did.
That's definitely not where this is going. That's definitely not where this is going. That's not where this is going. Venting is a very healthy thing to do.
Yes. I agree.
You give your partner space to vent. Now, in doing so, in giving your partner space to vent, that other person or partner has to understand that your partner doesn't want to constantly hear negativity coming from their partner all of the time. Because as much as, yes, I know you guys are not physically together, but that emotional load still does transfer to him to some degree.
Sure.
Because he now has to sit with the fact of, I can't be there physically with you to hold you through it, or even if you don't want to talk, but just sit with you through it. I can't do that. I have to be on the phone and listen to you complain or hear your voice break or hear like you feel hopeless or feel like frustrated or whatever. I have to sit there and hear that. Both of you do.
Yeah.
So both of you are taking on that emotional load for each other.
Yes.
Now, the crucial part would be when it's time to stop dumping emotionally and when it's time to come back to you two versus like in communicating with each other versus communicating at each other about each other's problems.
I do like that. So my biggest thing and the thing that I used to ground us was like, okay, your day sucked. Cool. Can we focus on like film stuff? If that makes sense. Because, even like the premiere and even like booked and even like Riot and even like screenwriting and even like, potential projects in the future and stuff like that was the stuff that I wanted to hear. Not to harp on that because I really wanted to get into something else that Katie was saying. One thing that I will communicate to you is that I do acknowledge how you feel. And the fact that we do actually like talk about that and the fact that we have moved past that.
Yes, like a while ago.
Yeah, we moved past it a while ago. I don't like the way you communicate. No, I'm just kidding. But anyways, no, we did move past that. But you said something very important.